this is the first Charlie Carbs and Cycling live stream. Very exciting times for all of us. So I thought first race yesterday, I was like, might as well just whack out a little video and talk about how the race has gone. So we'll just wait for a couple people to come in and then we'll get involved. Obviously ask some questions. If any of you have any, that would be very much appreciated. But if not, no worries. All right, a couple people in. So yeah, just going to talk about the race yesterday, plans for the rest of the year, and also my big race on the weekend, which is 25-mile TT at Bucks. Let me know if you can hear me okay or not, because my phone has a bit of an issue with the old microphone at the front. So if it's too bad, then just let me know and I can speak a bit louder. All right, mint. Cheers for that. Just wait. I think. What time is it? I'll wait a couple minutes. Got any burning questions? Let me know, and I'll whack them out left, right, and centre. But yeah, I've had a bit of a shocker. Locked out at the moment, so I'm at my mate's house, which isn't ideal, which is why I can't bring you any normal content because I don't have any of my stuff. So I've got to wait till tomorrow till my housemates are back. Not ideal for myself here, being out of my house. Not great. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But you know, it is what it is. Not too bad. All right, a couple of minutes, and then we'll get into the meat of the live stream, as they would say. I think if you could whack a like, that may potentially make more people watch it, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. Not 100% sure, but if you do enjoy, whack a little like, and that would be very, very much appreciated. And if you want also, oh yeah, big triathlon Nan. Obviously the boys coming up to win it. Cannot wait. That's going to be one of the big highlights of my year, I think. Properly steep climb for once, and a bit longer, maybe like 3 and a bit minutes. So yeah, that's I guess my big goal for hill climbs will be to be in top condition for nationals. Big plan is 500 watts for 3 minutes, which could be tough, but I've done 480 for like 2 minutes 45, so I think could be possible, but we'll see how it is on the day, I guess, and also how waxed I am from all my TTs and all the rest of it. Under 17 cyclists, what kind of power would be good for your category? I think it's hard to say because it depends how like developed you are. Like I think when I was 17, I did have a power meter. My first 20-minute test, I've ridden a bike for like, alright, that would be sweet. I will let you know if I need that to triathlon done. So I think when I was 17, I think my first 20-minute power, I'd ridden a road bike for like 3 months, was like 240 watts, so about 4 watts per kilo. But like Pidcock, for instance, was doing 5 watts per kilo at like 16, so 6 watts per kilo at 16. So I think it just depends how well developed you are. Like if you know, some people go through puberty when they're like 12, 13, so then obviously they're going to be really good. So I think it's probably not to worry too much. But I mean, if you're around 5 watts per kilo or so at that age, then you're going to be pretty good. But obviously I wasn't that good at that point, like 4 watts per kilo, and now I'm like, I don't know, threshold's about 5.5, so it's not too bad. But I think, yeah, don't stress too much, just ride your bike a lot, and yeah, I'd say that's the biggest advice, and just enjoy it, don't get burnt out. A lot of juniors, I feel like they get too keen. Like I know so many juniors who are really, really keen when they're like 16, 17, and then by the time they're like my age, like 21, 22, just no more riding anymore, which I don't think is the best thing. All right, we've got a couple more people in. So first race was yesterday. It was 10-mile TT on the outskirts of Bristol. It was, I'd say, a rolling course. It's like 120 meters in 16 kilometers. And it was my first TT of the year, actually. First TT since 2020, which I did on a road bike. And the goal, I guess, was just to set a good benchmark for the year. About 8 weeks previous, I did a 20-minute max test, which was about 295. So I sort of knew I was quite a bit ahead of that, but not too much. Headwind on the way out, but slightly downhill, and then tailwind, but slightly uphill on the way back. So way out, we just held about 320 watts on my power meter, which we'll get into a little bit, but I have a left-right balance of about 6%, so 320 is more like maybe 340-ish. And then on the way back, just held 310, averaged about 4.5 kilometers an hour, which was decent. I think that put me in 12th overall. The lad who won it did a 19:40, but he's ridiculous. I was about a minute off a podium, which isn't too bad for my first TT, and I knocked about a minute and a half off my PB from previous years, which is pretty good. Most of that doesn't come down to fitness, because I'm pretty similar to what I was in 2019 when I set my PB, but it's just deep wheels, better position, and that's the main things. The wheels and position is the main thing I've changed. Okay, I've waxed my chain, I have a 58 tooth chain ring, but I'm not sure that's a huge increase in power, in speed, for the same power. Hi, I'm from Spain. There's no TT I'm seeing like in the UK. Yeah, I think the UK is quite weird about TTs, like in terms of the culture. Like there are loads of TTs. It's quite odd, because I guess most places is just road races. And also the good thing about the TTs in the UK is they're not like UCI regulated, so you can have any position and all the rest of it, so it's a bit more chilled out. But I would say with the TTs, they can often be not too exciting, because they're often just down like a busy main road, do a UE on the roundabout and head back, so not always the most exciting. But yeah, so my big goal is obviously next weekend on Sunday. It's a 25-mile TT. It's the Uni Championships, and I really want to get a medal. I think my best chance is like as a team, so you get the accumulated team prize. And I've got 2 or 3 mates who are really quick, so if I can get in the top 3 for my uni, hopefully we'll get a medal. The plan will be to ride like a 55-minute-ish, something like that, 25-mile TT. That might be too ambitious. I think definitely under an hour, but I'm not really sure exactly where I'll be. It's slightly hilly, but not, it's not crazy hilly. It's in Cambridge in the UK, which is generally known as quite a flat place. So I'm pretty excited for it. But yeah, this week, I was supposed to do 4 hours today, but because I'm locked out of my house and I can't use my bike, then we're not doing 4 hours today, which is not ideal. But anyway, we just have a rest day today, which is 1 day early. Then we're going to do sort of a couple openers. Then I'm going to do a 20-minute max test on the tumble in Wales. I'm hoping to hit my best 20-minute power since before my crash. So I hope to do about 345-ish, 350 maybe, which would be about 5.7 watts per kilo for 20 minutes, which would be pretty good and close to my goal for the year, which is about 6 for 20. So that's going to be Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm probably going to do some 30-15s, just little openers, maybe like 2 or 3 sets of about 10 minutes, 30-15s. I find I really enjoy them. Then Thursday, easy. Friday, easy. And then Saturday, a couple of openers. Road races. Now, that is a very interesting question. So I actually really prefer road races. Road races are a lot more exciting, in my opinion, than any other racing form. But if you didn't know, I had quite a bad crash about 2 years ago. So I broke my leg, my wrist, my back, a lot of ribs, and I had brain surgery and stuff. So that was quite bad. And the issue is, if I crash on my back, it could be really bad. So I don't think I want to take that risk at the moment, because I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. So at the moment, I'm not going to be doing too much road racing this year. I might do a bit of mountain bike racing, like cross country, because I think I can sort of control the risk. But I think road racing is not going to be the one. Someone says the sound's not good. Sorry about that. I can't really change it. It's just the microphone is not good. What was the comments? Do you think Egan Bernal can win a tour over Pogacar and Roglic? Yes, but it would have to have very little TT kilometers, very little punchy stages, and a lot of altitude, like Col de Lizaran, finish up maybe the Galibier, like a 2,600 meter summit finish, things like that. And I think Bernal can. And I also think Bernal's probably not his top shape compared to what he was in 2019. Like, he was climbing really well then. So yeah, having said that, I think the Slovenians are on a different level. Since they've come to the sport, it's pretty crazy how high the level is. I've documented it, like just the watts per kilo are a lot higher. Predict the podium for this year's Tour de France. I guess it's a matter of who's going to finish 3rd place. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, you'd expect Roglic, Pogacar to be up there, but I mean, Geraint Thomas, obviously you're going to say I'm biased as a British person, but Geraint Thomas is looking very good. Adam Yates, like there's a fair few of the Ineos slot who are quite good. And I think, for me personally, Roglic is very strong, but his team is quite silly. I don't really trust them. I don't think they're a great team. And I think, in that regards, I think Pogacar probably will win it again. I think he's a better TTer, generally. Like, in the Tirreno TT, he whacked out on the last one. It's like a flat, pretty much for a specialist, and he did so well in that. And then I think Roglic will do well, but maybe not, like, maybe he'll come back with revenge, but I'm not so sure. And then, yeah, I guess maybe Geraint Thomas or someone like that will come third. It's hard to say. I mean, Geraint Thomas generally finishes on the podium, or he crashes out. Yates wasn't great in Basque Country. Yeah, it's not surprising, to be fair, though. Like, he did UAE, Andalusia, and Basque. Like, that's quite a lot of heavy racing in one go. So I think that's pretty tough, to be honest. Do you like alpacas? And if so, what is your favorite colored alpaca? Yeah, alpacas are quite cute. I don't really know too much about them, to be honest, and I'm not sure what my favorite color is. Yeah, he was better in Catalonia, old Yates. He looked very dominant there, but the competition, the Slovenians weren't there, so it's hard to say. What's your prediction for the Giro? I think it's going to be Bernal. I think he's got a very, very good chance of winning it. I'm excited to see how João Almeida goes, if he's going, which I think he is. And then there's like a couple others who are, to be honest, if you can let me know anyone else who's doing the Giro, I've actually forgotten a fair amount of them. But for me personally, Bernal's looked really good this year. A lot of high altitude finishes. Okay, the TTs are like decent, but they're not crazy. And I think if he has Sivakov with him, maybe Eddie Dunbar, I think that's super good. Oh yeah, Remco Landa. I don't rate Landa. I don't think he's good, but he's not, like, I can't see him dropping Bernal on that high altitude finish. Like, there's one stage which is 220k, 5,000 meters of climbing, and goes over 2,000 meters 3 times. I just can't see Landa beating him. Remco, I don't know. I think I'm very critical of his recovery. I think he was an idiot, trying to stay at the same weight. Like, I had a similar, well, not similar, I had a worse crash than him, and it was like, I got to 56 kilos in hospital because I lost all my muscle mass, and I wasn't like, oh yeah, that's a huge win, I'm good what's per kilo. It's like, no, you need to get everything back. And I think him trying to lose so much weight and all the rest of it was stupid, and that has delayed his recovery. And people might say it's otherwise, but it's quite obvious if you're like restricting your calories when you need to heal, it's not going to go well. And yeah, so I think that was not clever by Remco. How well he'll be in the Giro, I just don't know. It's very hard to say. I think also because it's his first 3-week Grand Tour, like maybe if he'd crashed and it was his second Grand Tour or something, he'd done the Giro last year, then it would have been different. But first 3-week tour, it's hard to say. I think Remco, like, it's one of those two things, isn't it? Remco's going to like win it easily, and there's going to be a domination, or he's going to do well and just crack monumentally. I can't really see him just like finishing like, a couple seconds back the whole time. Aru, no, I don't think Aru's coming back. I love Aru, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Aru fan, but I just can't see it. His iliac artery surgery is pretty bad. If you don't know what the iliac artery is, it's the main artery that goes from sort of like your pelvis area towards through your quads. And it gets very, very, like, it can get quite tight because cyclists, when they're, like, if you think they're like sort of bent over like their hip angle, then it can get quite constrained. And there's also sort of anecdotal evidence about coffee as well. I know Paul Van Zweel said that his iliac artery got worse. And Aru had surgery on that, and so I don't think since that's happened he hasn't gone back. But he had some really good years, like 2017 Tour, he was really, really good, won a stage, and he was on the yellow jersey. Vingegaard, I've got a video, I was literally going to make the video today, but obviously I can't because I'm on my laptop, but we'll stop saying I'm locked out. But anyway, I think he's going to be really good. Copy Bartley, he was outrageously good. He's so strong. UAE Tour as well, I thought Jebel Jais on the summit finish, he was really, really strong, and was surprised. Maybe people thought, oh, it's not Roglic, maybe I'm not going to go, but he was really good. And in Basque Country all week, he was really reliable. Bit of a disappointment in stage 4 where he didn't win the sprint, I thought, or didn't really compete the sprint, on the penultimate stage, but he was really strong in the last stage, and then obviously TT was really good. I think it'll be interesting to see how he goes. I think if he wants to win a Grand Tour, though, he has to get off Jumbo-Visma, because I don't think they seem to only really be able to win Grand Tours with like people who are stupidly good, like Roglic, and not people who are sort of like, good, but not crazy good. Well, Ineos, like Gegenhardt's not winning the Tour or like the Giro, sorry, at Jumbo, but he will at Ineos because they understand how to win Grand Tours. And I think that's pretty important difference between the two teams potentially. So yeah, I think that's Vingegaard, good old man. If anyone's got any questions, I'll be very much appreciated. But yeah, it's been quite a good season actually. I'm surprised how many races have happened. It's a shame about Roubaix, obviously should be today. I'm not sure it was raining, is it? But maybe, there was predictions it was going to rain, but I'm not sure it was. So yeah, we'll see. Hugh Carthy, oh yeah, he's a dark horse for the Tour de France podium. I think he's pretty strong, but does he have the pure climbing ability to follow Roglic and Pogacar in high mountains? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I really like him though as a rider, and I think his time trialing is underrated significantly. McNulty, yeah, he's going to be good. He's going to be really, really good. His time trialing is crazy fast. Like the numbers he puts out on TT bikes seem to be the same as his road bike, and I think he has the potential to be really well. I think my main issue is just like, I guess, like a fair few American riders just riding a bunch. It seems like downhill he's not good, and like just a little bit of that is the vibes I get. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe it's just a sort of aspersion that I have that isn't true. But I think he's going to go well, and it'll be interesting to see what he does in the GC race. I think the only thing is he does seem to blow up a little bit, so maybe he's a Richie Port syndrome, more always like crash in some sort of stage. Jumbo has weird tactics, 100%, don't get it. This gel thing, I have to stop. Like, I understand the point, but like, you can't be DQing people for just like dropping a bit of little, like, fine and fair, 200 euros, 300 euros, that's fine, because that's a big enough deterrent. Like, cyclists aren't millionaires, well, some of them are, but like, a lot of them aren't, and they'll take that. But I really don't think that it's a good idea to start DQing people for things. Clean my chain with a jar, bottom of the jar fell out, spent ages looking. Wait, what? How did you smash the jar? How aggressively were you shaking that? What was that going on? Best cow soy in Chiang Mai. I'm not sure. Ask Hayden. He's always the man who seems to know everything about the cow soy. He's on it every day. I liked May J. That was pretty good. Did enjoy that. Dumoulin, he was interesting actually. Apparently he's spotted on his TT bike in a canal. Not in a canal, but on a canal path. And he was spotted riding, and people said, maybe he's not done yet. I'm not 100% sure with Dumoulin. I really hope he comes back, but I'm not surprised. Like, the Jumbo-Visma comments about Wout van Aert, and were like, what are they saying? And they were saying that, like, you know, he's too fat, he needs to lose weight, he's going to Tenerife, he's not going to eat too much. You know, you had to lose 2 kilos, that's like 5,000 kilojoules or something. It's like, how can you possibly talk to your riders like that in public? Like, how can you shame them? Like, I don't think that's positive. I don't think it creates a good team atmosphere. And then I think it's not really surprising when you get people who are like, nah, just don't really want that. Like, I don't want the stress. In my opinion, and it's just me, I think Dumoulin may come back, but not as a GC rider. I think he'll become, Ryan Dennis will focus on the TT, where he doesn't have to worry about his weight. If he's 2 kilos heavier, it doesn't matter, and become a super domestique. That's my personal feelings. It's not anything he said, but I just think it is. I'm 47 kilos, not much force. Yeah, 47 kilos is light, man. Like, you might struggle a little bit, but I think you can do it. Like, Kenny Ellison is 52 kilos and is World Tour. Max Denman, a lad around here, has won Tour of Antalya, which is a 2.1, so a pro race. He won that, and he's like 52, 53. So I think it's, yeah, like, okay, you've got obviously a massive advantage on the climbs, but I think my biggest thing would be just ignore the weight, just get as much power as you can, and then pick your races wisely. If it's going to be crosswind, maybe it's not for you, but at the same time, crosswinds you can do well if you know how to position. So yeah, is it possible to win the Tour without being insanely good at TTs? Well, Burnell won the Tour, and he's not that good at TTs, but generally no. I think the Tour suits more of a time trial rider. One, because generally the time trials, well, there are some time trials, but I'd say the main reason it suits a TT rider more is actually just because the climbs aren't as steep. If they're 6-7%, these guys ride them at 24, 25k an hour. So if you're a bigger rider, you have to do less watts per kilo. So like, let's say you've got Nairo Man, who's 50 kilos, let's say he's not, but like just for the maths, he's doing 6 watts per kilo, that's 300 watts. If you're 70 kilos, you're not doing 420, you'll do like 400. So then if you've got the same threshold, every climb's slightly easier, and like, it's just a bit better. All right, Harris, I'll gal your house tomorrow, all right, lad. I've got nowhere to go at the moment. I'm homeless, not ideal. No guys in the peloton are fat with the calories they burn daily. Yeah, none of them are fat, but some of them aren't like crazy. You know? Like if you look at Pogacar, like I'm not fat shaming. I'm just saying like he's not crazy lean, but that's just because he eats loads and he knows that like, you know, he's young rider, he'll get leaner. I don't think people are like fat, but they're just not like crazy lean. And also like obviously cyclists are like stupidly lean, most of them. So if they're like normal body weight, then you know that seems quite big. Do you think the national hill climb should be on longer climbs? CTT seems stuck in their ways. So many amazing climbs. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a bit annoying where like if we think about the last climb. So you had like 2017. Actually, I can't remember what 2017 was. Oh yeah, that was like Bank Road, wasn't it? 2018 was P-Royd Lane, supposed to be Chelsea Walls. Those are both 3-minute climbs. Okay, 2019 Hay Tour. This one last year, an abomination. Some 2-minute hill climb in the south of England with terrible road surface, no crowd. Okay, it's Corona, but still horrendous. Worst nationals ever. That's my opinion. I also did terribly, but that's my opinion. This year, okay, it's iconic, but it is a 3-minute climb. And I think you're right. Imagine having it on hard knot. I know it'd be hard to organize, but Kirkstone Pass, there's so many amazing climbs that's so steep. Great Dunfell, like, it would be amazing. And I think it would be great if they actually had them on more diverse climbs and they suited more different people. My first race ever is in a month. Any tips? Depends what, if it's a road race or TT, let me know. If it's a road race, watch Cycling Maven. He's got great tips. And just, yeah, I'd say watch bike racing, NorCal Cycling. I never had ridden in a bunch before, and then just did my first road race and just got around mainly because of that. Could you get a Conti contract? No, probably not. Like maybe if I went full time and could maybe get one just because of like YouTube and connections, but like I'd be a very, very average Conti rider. Conti riders are really good. Yeah, it's a 3-minute climb this year. Am I British? Yes, I am. Yeah, I think Conti is just like there are a lot of people who can be Conti, and can do a job. So it's like, it's not like welterweight, like you have to be top. Like you could be, there's a lot of people who could be Conti, but it's just like who you know and all the rest of it. But also I think being Conti is like good, but then at the same time, like you often don't get paid very much. You have to basically train full time, maybe have to have another job. It's not like the perfect life. I think it'd be really fun. Having said that, like if someone offered me a Conti contract tomorrow, like I probably would take it. Well, no, I'd definitely take it, even though it's a bit risky on my back and stuff. But I think I still would. But yeah, I think for me to be Conti, I'd need to be doing, well, if I could do 6 this year, that'd be quite a good step. But the issue is there are people who are like 70 kilos doing 6 watts per kilo. So if I'm going to be like a climber, because I'm tiny, then I need to be doing more. Do you think Quintana could ever finish on a GC podium? Well, I don't, like now, or like he has, obviously he's won 2 Grand Tours, and I think he can. I think if the course is right, he's shown some crazy climbing performances. Like Chalet Reynard last year was ridiculous. I think he definitely has the opportunity. I just think if I was Quintana, I would pay £1 million to Dan Bigham to go to the end of the wind tunnel in Velodrome in Derby and get tested there and get quick. There's a hill climb on Dunfell. Yeah, I'm planning on doing that probably. It should be good. See what sort of I can do for 20 minutes. What do you reckon? Who do you reckon will take the Ardennes? I think it will probably be Hershey, Alaphilippe, Pogacar, Roglic, maybe Valverde. I really hope they all do it. Sort of dark horse for me. Fuglsang hasn't looked great, but I think Narvaez, if he's back, obviously he had fractured a radius, or was it scaphoid? Scaphoid, I think. So I think, yeah, that's not good. Should Tadej pull longer for McNulty? No, I think McNulty was just gone. There is one on the struggle, and I want to do that. I want to do all of them, but the issue is they're all like 5 hours away, so it's not ideal. Van der Poel or Van Aert? I prefer Van Aert, but that's just me, mainly because I just think Van der Poel's a bit annoying. I don't really know. Sometimes I just get a feeling about riding. I just don't really like him that much. But I think Van Aert is a legend. He's so good at everything, and it's crazy. Do you hold any KOMs at the moment on Strava? Yeah, I've got like 2 pages maybe, something like that. But most of them are pretty dodgy, like tiny segments, or I've motor paced off some car in Thailand, so I wouldn't really say they're too crazy. I love a bit of com hunting. I'm planning on going com hunting soon, actually, on my TT bike, because it's just a bit of cheating in it. If you've got a tailwind on a TT bike, it's like 5 minutes long. It's average like 50k an hour. It's just not really fair. So yeah, my Strava was probably on the link below. It's Charlie Car, whatever, if you want to check it out. See what the old training is. See how we managed to increase my FTP by 20 watts in my TT position in 8 weeks. Which was, I don't know, it's not bad. It's not bad. If we could continue that throughout the year, there's like six blocks, let's say, that would be 120 watts. But nah, we're not going to do that. But yeah, I think going back to the Ardennes, I think it would be pretty interesting. I wonder how Benoit Cosnefroy would do. He was very anonymous at Basque Country, not really great. Mike Woods as well. I think he could have done quite well, but you know, he's obviously crashed, which isn't great. It was a shame. I thought he could have done well in that final stage. Well, not final stage, like second. No, what was it? Yeah, second stage with the like 2K climb at 10%. But yeah, I think it will be open this year, probably more than usual. Any advice on how to have good position in the bunch? I think that's good, very good question. For me, I like came to road racing quite late. I'd say my first race was when I was like 17 maybe, which, okay, maybe isn't that late, but like a lot of people, you know, have been riding since they're 13. I'd say for me, the best thing is just go out with your mate, go to the grass and practice bumping each other and just get used to bumping each other. And then in a bunch, you'll be like, if there's a gap and you're like, you might hit someone, you're like, oh, it's fine, just hit them. And I'd also say, in terms of if it's like a bunch sprint, just try and be there like 2 minutes before you need to be, a minute before. Like just think, I always just need to be there before everyone else is panicking. Because once it's fast, it's really hard to get somewhere. Like, you know, if there's a climb coming up, then, you know, if you try and move up just to the end, it's not going to happen. You've got to move up a little bit before. And last piece of advice, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. So you just always got to like just pick off a couple people. But I'm not great at moving up in a bunch. I generally just rely on my strength, which I can sort of get away with at lower level races. But when I start racing high level, it's a bit harder. Is Remco going to win the Giro? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think it's going to be very hard for him. Considering, has he raced this year? No, he hasn't raced, has he? So, nah, first Grand Tour, I don't think he should do the Giro. I think if I was Quick Step, okay, there's the Olympics, which probably complicates things a lot. But if there wasn't the Olympics, I think he wouldn't do the Giro. He'd train, he'd do Tour of Alps, he'd do Romandy maybe, and then Dauphiné and do Tour. That would make sense to me, but obviously I know he has the Olympics, so he's probably very concentrated on that. Related to training, usually wake up with sore legs and sleepy. Any tips? I've found often it's just you don't eat enough. Like, if you're trying to lose weight, sometimes, you know, you cut calories a little bit or something, and then you can feel a bit bad the next day. But sometimes it's just psychological. Sometimes you just wake up and your legs feel a bit sore, you feel quite hot. And then I don't think it's like anything bad though. I just think it's like sometimes, you know, you just aren't feeling in top condition, but you can still do the numbers. It's just psychological. And I think I've learned that a lot recently. Sometimes the legs don't feel good, but it just hurts more than it should, but you can still do it. Who should Ineos take to the Tour? I think probably the Catalonia team. I think that's probably the best team. And then they get to add one more rider. So maybe Sivakov, I rate him a lot, or Bernal. But it depends on what form they're on. But I think, yeah, Luke Rowe, Dennis, Castroviejo, maybe Amador. They've got a lot of people. And then, like, Adam Yates I would bring, but I know they're not going to bring because they're sending him to Vuelta, so you can get rid of him. And then Gegenhardt, Thomas, Port, all of them, you just have to take. And then Sivakov, Bernal. I think those are the people. I'm not sure, like, Eddie Dunbar or anyone like that has really done anything crazy enough. Is Bernal washed? Nah, he's not washed. Laguelia, he was mad. He's done 6.8 watts per kilo for 20 recently. Like, man, that boy is not washed at all. He's coming back to top condition, and like his training in Colombia has been really good. He did 6.4 for 12 at altitude, like 2,600 meters, which is like basically equivalent to probably like 7 or 433. So what is that, like 7.5 or something? Anyway, it's good. I think he's in good form. Who do you think is the better climber, Pogacar or Roglic? If I went on the Tour, I'll probably say Pogacar. But it's hard to say because it just depends on the climb. Like, I don't know at like really high altitude who I'd say is better, but like that Paris Sud was mad, and obviously Planche de Belfi. But I think there's not much in them. I think they're really similar riders. They're actually so punchy, which I think is weird. What do you reckon goes on with Sosa? I don't know. Sosa's really interesting, actually. I think I really like him. I thought he was going to do really well. I made a video about him saying he's, you know, super hyped him up. But I just don't think he seems to have the ability to ride in a bunch very well. I think he often, you know, is good on the final climb. He did really good watts up Mont Ventoux, but I don't really know. It's interesting. Gegenhardt DNF, yeah, he said he's been ill. He didn't do any intensity or training like before Basque Country. I think he's quite far behind, so they're just basically doing massive amounts of volume, massive amounts of stage racing to make up for it. Whoop strap, stupid. I don't believe in it. Heart rate variability is just, there's no real evidence. And for me personally, I just like to go on feel and how I am. I don't really like, okay, like you can see your heart rate variability, but it's like, how do you actually feel? Like, can you do the efforts? Can you not do the efforts? I don't know. And I think I've seen so many dodgy data coming from it. What do you think about Jay Vine's Zwift dude is doing big numbers in Germany? I haven't seen Jay Vine's numbers. I saw some vlog, what was it? Chris Miller. He does it. He was his old teammate or something, team manager. And he seemed to be doing big numbers, but I'll have a look. The person I saw doing big numbers in Girona was Nielsen Paulus. He got the KOM up Santi Calma to about 6.4, I think, for 20, which is pretty strong. How low weight do you think is possible for a 5'7" male without sacrificing too much strength? I think I'm 5'7". I'm like 170 centimeters, 170 centimeters. I think it depends on your body type. Like I can get to 58, 59. 58, I start to lose a little bit of power, but 59, like no power loss. But I'm like not, okay, I'm not fat, but I'm not like skinny. Like I'm a little bit broad. So I think for me, it's probably a little bit harder. But I think like, I know other people, like Paul Double I interviewed, he's a similar height to me, maybe a little bit taller, but he's like 56, 57. So I think it's very personal, especially just like leg size and all the rest of it. I used to be a Cat 2 road racing cyclist. You think now in my early 40s, it's possible to get back to that level higher. It just depends. How much time do you have? Like, are you similar or not? Like, I think it's really hard to answer, to be honest, but I think at 40, like, probably not. Like, if you're a pro, then yeah, it could be hard, but I think you've definitely got the opportunity. If you train better now, train more intelligently, you can definitely get back to the same point. Wahoo, I just lost my Garmin. Oh, you got Rocacorba? Fair, I'll have a look at that then, because that would be pretty sweet. I just need to get my charger. But yeah, Rocacorba is, James Knox had that before he went pro. He did it just before Tour de l'Avenir, actually. He did 6.5, I think it was, for 20 or 25, was it? Which is pretty strong. Sorry, it might be a weird angle because I just got to do this. Wahoo all the day. Yeah, I just lost my Garmin, actually. 520, lost it like 3 years ago or something. Got Wahoo. I've been through 3 or 4, 3 Wahoos now, so they're okay. They give you warranty, but like, it's not unreal. So I just need to check this is charging. Yeah, we're on the charge. We're all good. He smoked everyone by 30 seconds. Wow, I'll have to have a look at that then, because that must have been, yeah, it would be 6.6 because Knox and Yates and all the rest of them were doing something similar. Best value dual-sided power meter. Maybe these new Garmin Vectors or Favera Asioma. I wouldn't go with a Shimano one just because the right side is known as to be a bit dodgy. So definitely don't go for Shimano. Power to Max, people like them, I've never had them. People seem to say they're good. In my opinion, on the power meters, just if you want something that's accurate and you're willing to pay them a little bit, just make sure someone in the pro peloton is using it, because they're using it and they're generally not terrible. I would say though, just stay clear of Shimano right side, unless it's a couple like generations old. I think 5800 can be okay, but if the new one apparently doesn't read very well, and there's a lot of people making articles about them, so not good. That's really impressive by Jay Vine, but I think he'll have the same things a lot of people. Like Ed Laverat can put out what, like 7 watts per kilo over 20, but if you can't do it in a race or you can't do it at the end, then I don't think it's as important. Is Yates good at time trialing? Well, which one? I think they're both really good. I think they both are a lot better than other climbers because they actually concentrate on the TTs a lot more. Do you have back pain? Yeah, I do, because they fused the top 3, so any ride over like 3 hours I get pain, but it's like low level. It's not an issue. You just get used to it. It's just like when you ride a bike and, you know, towards the end of the ride, sometimes legs feel a bit heavy. It just feels like that. It was quite bad at the beginning, but it's got better and better. And now I just sort of don't ignore it. Does any World Tour team use Favero? No, they don't. Pedal power meters aren't very popular in the World Tour, so maybe that wasn't good. However, Bardiani TSF did use it for a bit. But I guess, okay, maybe that wasn't the best thing, but as in like, if you're looking at someone, you know, who haven't seen and they're like, you know, not on the World Tour, not got good reviews, obviously Shane Miller and DC Rainmaker are the best. They just look at their websites, look at the YouTube videos, and they will tell you exactly what to get. I have a Stages, which I think was good, but can be a bit inconsistent. I had it since 2017 and sold it to my mate, and it's okay. It seems to be a bit inconsistent. Then I have a, what's it called, Info Crank. They're the best. If you can afford an Info Crank, I just get one of them. They just work, and it's just good. Okay, my crank did fall off, but that was me being an idiot installing it. And then I have a 4i on my TT bike, which is left side only, which does the job. Obviously, when I have a left-right balance, it's not ideal. The DeBonis doping case, I'm not really up to scratch with that one. I think he got done for growth hormone, I think it was. That team's not good, but I think, my personal opinion, it's going to be a bit controversial here, because I think we need some controversy maybe on this channel, maybe a bit more than we used to have. I just think like the UCI and the anti-doping people, they just want to get the small fry. Like, when you think about it, if someone's getting done for EPO, let's say, or Serra, whatever they got done for, like, come on, like, everyone's training to a stupid level. Everyone knows how to train now. Okay, you can argue genetics is different, but like, he was getting battered. He wasn't even good. Like, come on. So, I mean, I think if he's getting done, then it's like, well, I don't know what other people are on. I'm not going to speculate what they're on, but like, you know, it just seems to me that it's like all the only people who get caught are the people who are dumb enough to get caught. It's not like no one else is doing stuff; they just don't get caught. Why has Hershey not been at one-day races this year? Something about his whereabouts form. He left somewhere a bit suspicious. Apparently, whereabouts. He didn't tell them where he was, and some would do a lot of testing because they want to be seen as very anti-doping, and I think that's why he left. Armstrong motor doping. He might have done. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think that's just money. The thing with cycling in English media, at least, there's more money in Lance Armstrong than any other rider. So anytime Cycling News published an article about his son today, wasn't it? Like, so, you know, it's just money, that's all. On heart rate note, yesterday on a team ride, I managed hard 4 hours, first 3 hours flat, and heart rate went up to 180, and felt the best. Oh, okay, alright, sick. How'd you go today? Decent PB? Yeah, no, Shane, it was class. Very happy with the result. So it was, yeah, 21, 43, I think it was in the final thing. So like a minute off the podium, which I was pretty happy about. And like decent power for me. So it's like 315 power, which if you take into my left-right balance, it's like 6%. Means it's about 334-ish, which at my weight is about 5.6 watts per kilo for 22 minutes-ish. So it's pretty good, pretty happy with that. Power on my TT bike's got a lot better, and it's all I've been training for pretty much, is just TTs, because that was the only race that I knew was going to happen. So yeah, it was really good, very happy. Hope you're doing well, lad. Got to be honest, I think most people, yeah, I mean, like, it's just, yeah, I feel like there's no point talking about like it all, because there's nothing good. Like, I can't prove anything, I can't disprove anything. You just know that people keep getting caught, and that if drugs really work, then other people should be getting caught, or whatever. Like, I don't really get it. It's just they got more money, so they can get away with it, or whatever. But anyway, I think, yeah, there's not too much to be gained. Yeah, they've been them. I'm almost certain of it. I think, so Froome, like, you know, climbed at 6.2 for 40 in the Tour, and like maybe 6. They said his power day was 5.8, but I think it's probably like 6. In Tirreno, they did 6.3 for 40 something minutes. In Tirreno, like they'd been him. And Contador, I don't know, Contador did some stupid numbers. Like, he was what, 7.2 for 20? I don't know what Roglic is doing. So Shane, basically, so I have my left, my PAMIs are left only, but when I crashed, I broke my left leg. So my left leg on my road bike, I have dual-sided, if that makes sense. So I know the difference between them. So my left leg is like 47, my right leg's 53. So, because it's left only, it basically means it's like 6% under reading, which is why it's a little bit higher. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just like, just ego for me, I guess, to say I've got better power than I should. But I haven't changed or anything, because I just compared it to what I have. But gyms now are opening in the UK, so I should be able to go to the gym and basically alleviate the strength difference, because it'd be good to have close to 50-50 again. I didn't have a dual-sided before my crash, so I don't know what I was at before, but yeah, we'll see. But I think it would be interesting to see how good, all right, cheers, lad. You're going very well, actually, at the moment. Looks like you're excited to see how you can do in racing, to be honest. Are you racing like UCI Asia then? Is that the deal? The Asia Tour? That'll be quite interesting to see. But yeah, it'll be interesting to just see what everyone is. I think World Tour seems like there's a step up. However, I'm not sure if it's a step up or it's just a lot of people saying this, that everyone's just in really good form very early on. Like, that would be the interesting thing. Like, maybe people are actually just, you know, in top condition. A UAE Tour for Pogacar is like one of the biggest races because of his sponsors. So maybe people are just really good form early on, and in the Tour, they won't get better. While normally, you know, early season races, people are around here for fitness. And at the Tour, everyone is like red hot. But maybe now everyone's sort of 90% the whole time, and the Tour, they're just a little bit better, which could explain the really fast climbing times. And it's controversial. Excited for Lantern to move to Europe. Yeah, it should be good. I was trying to get him to come to Bristol, because obviously Bristol is the home of cycling media. We've got down the road in Bath, you've got Cycling News, you've got GCN, and in Bristol you've got Bike Radar, you've got me, obviously huge name. You've got that other bloke, Cycling Dane, he's from around these parts as well. It's actually quite a big contingency, but he said that it rained too much here, which, yeah, it does rain quite a lot in Bristol. But yeah, he's, I think, going to Girona, so it should be good. Like, if it's possible, good to meet up with the old man again. Haven't seen him in person since like 2018, so long time. But yeah, it'll be good to see him. He's done really well this year. I'm really happy, and my hope for Lantern is that he takes over Eurosport and just destroys them, and Carlton Kirby never commentates on a race again, because that man is so annoying. I really don't like him very much. He just needs to get off it. I mean, I think some people hate my commentary, fair enough, but I think Carlton Kirby is something else, and he just goes the whole time, and then just says cat among the pigeons, and then get out of there to the motorbikes, and that's about it. Yeah, Valverde looks so strong, man. I don't know what's happened to him. Like, maybe it was just lockdown. He didn't deal with it well, similar to Sagan. Yeah, fire Carlton Kirby, hate the man. Like, I'm not that opinionated on many things, but Carlton Kirby is someone who I really just hate. But yeah, I think Valverde doing power PBs is like, what is going on? Because some of the numbers he's been putting out recently are crazy. So I analyzed his like world champs power data, and he did 6.7 for the last 10-minute climb in the world champs after like probably 6,000 kilojoules, something stupid. And he's doing like mad numbers now. Miguel Indurain, GP Miguel Indurain, that was a really good race. I loved when he attacked like perfect on this thing, and he's just out the saddle, absolutely ripping it. I'm a big Valverde fan. Like, obviously I know he's very controversial and all the rest of it, but I think the way he just is, the way he's on a bike, he's just got the killer instinct. I really hope he could win like Flesh again. That'd be mint, because I think he's got an all right chance. Like, Alaphilippe doesn't look that good. It's just Pogacar and Roglic are so good at those types of finish. Maybe Hershey back, Kosnefroy. Kwiatkowski even did all right. Wellens. There's a lot of people who could do well there. Super exciting. And maybe even some wrong, like maybe Gaudu will just like launch it. He looks really good. I like, and he's done well in that in the past. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, Valverde is one of the leanest blokes I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. He's like the most classic pro in my opinion. Like, he's just the typical Spanish pro, just, you know, just there for the training, works really hard in training. Like, okay, people might say race a lot, but like, you know, he's just a classic. Very hard. Just, you know, it just seems like a good bloke all around. Obviously doping, whatever, but anyway. Best commentator, I like Rob Atch. I think he's really good. I also like Brian Smith a lot. I think them two are the best combinations. To be honest, that's my view, Ted. Lantern would be quite good. Me and Lantern together. Petition to GCA, could happen. How can Dowsett be so quick in TTs? I actually know Dowsett's mates quite well, and he says that it's just his pacing, how he puts out the power, and I think he's just really aero. And I think putting out the power is really interesting, because obviously you've got a rolling course, like how you put out the power is actually a massive thing, even if it's like just out and back. So I think that's probably one of the things. He just time trials more than anyone else. Like, it's not like he just goes out and rides at 400 watts. Like, he really thinks about it. And I just think he's really aero as well. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Sorry, I'll keep getting my finger in it. How could Gaudu go from being anonymous to Paris? It just depends his build-up. Maybe, like, you know, maybe he was just doing zone 2 real easy, just, you know, cruising. Then he does Paris-Nice, and that's his big block of intensity. And then, you know, he just, like, before that, he just does a little bit of intensity just to keep the legs ticking over a couple miles, and goes into, like, Basque Country really, really well. You know, you don't know how they trained. It's not like Mille U, where, like, you know, their goal is a lot further away, so they can afford to just, you know, literally noodle around. Like Geraint Thomas said before his first race of the year, which was, what was it, Haute Var? No, not Haute Var, the other one. I can't remember. Etoile de Bessèges. He said, yeah, that he hadn't done any intensity to 5 minutes of threshold. So, like, yeah, he's not going to look good then, but then, you know, as he does the races, that's what they use for their training often. And then, you know, just the tune-up. Do you think EF Hugh Carthy? Yeah, Uran is, yeah, gone. He was never good, in my opinion. Like, he was there, but he's never going to win his Grand Tour. He's just not good enough. Like, TT, he's really good. Climbing, he's really good, but there's always someone better at TTs. There's always someone better on the climbs. So they've got to go for Hugh. Higuita's good, but he can't really stay on a bike very well. I think that's his issue. If he could stay on a bike better, Higuita is good. And I think, one thing I think recently, right, cheers, Joseph, huge result. Yeah, I think one thing that I've noticed recently is that people who can't ride a bike just crash a lot. Like Mike Woods just can't really ride a bike. Like, yeah, he has loads of practice, but he crashes a lot. Geraint Thomas, people are like, oh, you know, it's just luck. But like, you know, I don't know, they crash a lot. How do I celebrate putting the Hubot in the bin? Well, that's a good question. Went to my mates for a birthday party, lost my key, and yeah, here we are now. Just didn't sleep last night, just rolling, no riding today. It hasn't been a good week for the old Charlie today. Not ideal. Is Thomas going to win a Grand Tour again? Maybe if he goes to the Giro, but I don't think so. I think what's going to happen, he's going to go for the Tour this year. He's going to get a good result, maybe 4th or 5th. Then he's going to be like, you know what, this Grand Tour stuff is a bit hard, and go back to the classics. Who do you think will be selected for Tokyo 21, for UK that is, or other places? If it's UK, I think TT, I don't think it's too hilly for Dowser, I don't think they should bring in. If we've got 2 slots, which I think we should, then I'd probably bring like G and maybe, I don't know, like Gegenhardt. He's quite good. Yeah, UK. Yeah, probably G and Gegenhardt. And then for the, I think we've fucked up the selection. I think we only got like 4 or 5 slots. I'd take like Hugh, Yates brothers, maybe like Geraint Thomas, and just like, I think we've only got 4, maybe 5, like them, and then maybe some sort of road captain who's a bit better in climbs. But I think that's our best shot. I think we've just got to make it really hard and hope that Simon Yates or Adam Yates can sort it out in the end, because they do look good. They are good at one-day races, you know. Between them, they've won quite a lot. Like San Sebastian, GP Artigianato at Industria, they won as well. So, you know, they are pretty good. Yeah, Pidcock could go, but he's doing mountain bike, I heard. Carl Jolly, that would be huge. I've heard the man's been training very well recently, so could happen. Dream destination for a cycling training camp. I don't know. I've been to some good places to ride a bike, like the Alps, like Australia, and like Adelaide. Thailand was pretty good in Chiang Mai, but I want to go to Tenerife. I just want to do like an hour and a half climb. Like Ghana the other day did an hour and a half at 411 watts or something. It was mint. Is chasing KOMs healthy? Well, yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, it's not the best thing. If you went for a KOM every day, you probably wouldn't be too good, but like, you know, every once in a while, instead of doing efforts. Regent's Park inner ring circle, yeah. I like that a lot. I think we did 100k before around there. Miguelingo Lopez he's wax, mate. If they had every single climb finishing at 3,000 meters and no time trials, then I reckon he'd be okay, or an uphill TT. But that man is he's just not good. Like, he's just generally, like, very inconsistent. Again, one of those blokes who can't ride a bike. Like, remember when he won Tour de Suisse, went to the Vuelta, crashed on the first stage, knocked all his teeth out. I was like, mate, come on, just learn how to ride a bike properly. Is going on good stuff. I've debunked that. He's got worse than when he was on a World Tour team, so I don't think so. Like, he did better numbers in California mid-stage. I don't know when I'm coming Hillingdon. I don't really want to go back. It's not very much fun. You just get, basically, you just attack all race, and then some fat bloke wins the sprint. Not good. Is Pidcock slowly playing his GC potential? Yeah, Pidcock's going to be outrageous. Like, the numbers he does are stupid. He can sprint, he can ride in crosswinds, he can do everything. Yeah, I'm not going to be at Hillingdon anytime soon. That was the probably least fun type of racing. He did 360 watts for 10 minutes and couldn't get away. And I was like, you know what? That's enough for me. If I'm doing that in a race and not getting away, then I need to go somewhere else. But I think Pidcock is a big GC potential. Him and Remco, very similar. Good on the TT, good on the climbs, very like slight build, very aerial, as Campanats would say. And I think they are, yeah, pretty good, to be fair. Pretty similar. I think obviously Pidcock's got better bike handling skills. I'm not sure he would have crashed in Lombardia, and he's also better on cobbles. He's won on 23 Roubaix, etc., and got a better sprint. Danny Martinez, I rate Danny Martinez, but another bloke, he's a bit inconsistent. I think him going to Ineos is gone. GC gone, because like, if you think about it, there's Bernal, there's Sivakov, there's G, there's Gegenhardt, Yates, Carapaz. There's just so many people. Like, I just can't believe that he's gonna get a slot. And unless he starts doing 1 week stage races. Can Mark Donovan crack it in a big tour one day? Yeah, I think he could do, but I think like he might be able to get a top 10 in a Giro or a Vuelta if he's lucky. But I think he should go for stage hunting. He's really good. Who do you think? Oh, I definitely can. I don't know. Probably the person who would be the best at it would be a Grand Tour contender, because they're really good at just riding tempo. Like Manny Bookman, if he chose a proper climb, or someone like that would destroy it. Good age to get Palmia, I think whenever, to be honest. I got one as 17 and I loved it. Bernal for an Everest, yeah, Bernal will be good at it. Also someone who likes descending, and Bernal's good. I did meet June Ryder. Yeah, he's an interesting bloke, that's for sure. There's actually some video that I filmed in his garden, which was an interesting experience, that's for sure. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like Teenage Backpacker Speaks Out Against June Ryder. It's a funny one. Yeah, Froome's gone, mate. Cheerio. It's not coming back. And I know people are going to say, oh, maybe it could. But I made it a video about it. It's just not happening. Like, he even if he hadn't crashed at this age, he wouldn't be the same level. And the level's gone up. So it's like he's declining and then he's going up. So, yeah. I don't think Froome's going to be coming back. Maybe she got some tips from the master coming back from intensive care and crashes from me. But no, I don't know. We'll see. Thoughts on Dumoulin returning in time for the Tour de France? I don't know. All I've heard is that he's ridden on a bike path. People saw him on a bike path by a canal, and he was on his TT bike, and people said he's back. I think he's not going to go into, as I said before, he's going to go into a GC, not GC contender, but a pure time trialist and super domestique. Yeah, Burrito's a good lad. You should come around Bristol, Tobias, and we'll get you around some top climbs. A lot more exciting than boring flat Windsor, mate. Is G finished? Not finished yet. I think if he keeps going for Grand Tours, I can't see him winning one. Maybe get a Giro if it's really TT heavy. But I think if he went for the Spring Classics, I still believe that he could do well. Carapaz is going to win another Grand Tour, guaranteed. He should have won the Vuelta. If Ineos had anyone who was decent, like on that final stage to launch it, he could have won the Vuelta. Like every single day, Froome got spat really early. Carapaz literally had Amador, and that was it. Sousa was useless. Brandon Rivera, who actually I was abusing, he looks quite good. He crashed out. And then who else do they have? I can't even remember. Their team was horrendous. If they had some decent blokes, like if they just even had like Sivakov there, just launching on the final climb, he would have won the Vuelta. So he's definitely, I think he's better than Roglic in my opinion. More consistent at least. G is solid. Dowser hour record. He's going to win. If he does it, I think he's going to get it because he did it really well in Manchester and didn't go that hard. And I think if he went full, plus his position's obviously better, all the equipment gains, I think Dowser can definitely get it. But I do love Campanats, but I still think he could get it. I really want to see Ganna go to altitude, spend a year doing it, and just average like 59 kilometers an hour, and just everyone's just like, wow, done, cheerio, thanks for coming. Tour de France, I think it's going to be Pogacar. Again, that's my personal view, but it is. Who's worse, Stevie? Well, that is an interesting question. I don't really know how they're both World Tour, but Stevie Williams, he did get some pink jerseys on in a baby Giro in like 2017, 2018, but then he had a big knee injury. Scott Davies, I know he's won some TTs in Wales, but I don't know anything about that, so it's a bit confusing. I think Wolfpack is a bit lame, but it's not crazy. Is it stupid for Campanats? Nah. Campanats for the classics. I'm a huge Campanats fan myself. As a vegan legend who likes the TTs, me and him are pretty similar. I actually need to get him on the channel at some point. I should message him. But yeah, Campanats I think is good. He looked really good. Like in E3, he caused a lot of the splits. Lesserman, he looked good. I think he could. I've been impressed how he is. The only thing is, if he loses his time trial ability, which I think he might be, then it's going to be hard for him to get a team because like he was really good. Like I didn't realize he came second behind Ganna in the TT in Tirreno last year. Should bonus seconds exist? It just feels, yeah, I think sometimes those bonus seconds seem a bit harsh because, like, Pogacar and Roglic just bin everyone in the final sprints and just keep getting bonus seconds. Alex Richardson or Rory Townsend? To be honest, I don't know. Rory Townsend does pretty well. Alex Richardson, I think is a funny bloke. I like the way he's just random, like, oh yeah, I'm just do a half marathon every week. But I don't really know them that well, to be fair. Best hills to ride up and down in London. Well, in London itself, probably Swains Lane, but if we're like around the area, Kent's probably the best, I reckon. Around there, you've got some proper naughty lanes and some decent climbs, pretty steep. Toys Hill, a classic. Ide Hill, it's a fair few. Thoughts on Tony Martin? Good bloke, just a shame he couldn't get aero when everyone else did, and just has a position of like, you know, a classic mammal from like 20 years ago. But he's got good numbers, I think, but just, you know, a bit not aero enough at the moment. But yeah. Can Laverick beat the Everesting record? Yes, definitely. That can definitely happen. I think he's stronger than Ronan McLaughlin, in my opinion. And just in terms of pure watts per kilo, I'm not sure about endurance and all the rest of it, but pure watts per kilo, Lavers can get that, I reckon. The only thing is he doesn't always come across as like the bloke who's going to be the most well prepared for all of it. So I feel like he should like outsource that to someone who's properly on it, and all he has to do is just get told, right, ride at 5 watts per kilo or 5.2 or whatever you have to do for the time, and then just do it. Will Phil Gaimon get close to I don't know. Phil Gaimon's a bit useless these days. I reckon he's lost all of his numbers because like he was living off his World Tour power and sort of just like slowly getting worse and worse, and then like never had an off season. So I don't know. Maybe he'll get better. Maybe he won't. It's a bit hard. Yeah, they should all use the same climb if they were clever, but it's a lot of flying and all the rest of it. The current one in Ireland, I think, is probably one of the best you're going to get, like 14% perfectly straight. I think that's ideal. I can't really think of many climbs that are sort of better. Sometimes maybe some of the longer ones you could use are slightly better. If you could get like 3K, but maybe had one descent, one like corner where you have to brake a little bit, that could be better, because every time you repeat, like that's the worst thing. Every time you're repeating, like, you know, you're going down to 0 kilometers an hour at the very bottom, or close to, and that's the thing that slows you down. Tubeless, I can't, it's too complicated. I set it up. I actually managed to do tubeless, which was a huge win for myself. And then it just went bang, and I got some glass in it, and it fell off, so I'm just on latex tubes. All right, we've been going for 55 minutes. My voice is almost cracked, so I reckon we'll go for another 5 minutes, and then we will call it a day. Do you think Ryan Dennis has exceeded? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe on the road he has. I think he's done better. Like the Giro, he won Gegenhardt the Giro. Can't really deny that. The TTs, he hasn't looked as good. Like, okay, yeah, he's won TTs. He's come second to Ghana, but maybe not as much as they expected. But I think as a general team player, he's done very well. Any good carbon wheels, wind space. Wind space are the ones. I've never cracked on a cold Windsor ride in January. That's absolute fake news. I'm always flying in January, and then it comes to actual races, and we're always binned because we're getting a break and then pull too much. But yeah, good carbon wheels, wind space, Yolio, people like them. I don't really have any sponsor with them. I've got my MBs, but I got them second hand, and like they're pretty spenny, so I wouldn't really recommend them. Gianni Moscon, futures in Italian Pro Conti team, not gonna lie. He's not gonna get another contract this year. He's just too controversial, and he's good. You know, 5th in Roubaix, come top 5 in Worlds in 2017. No, 18 in Innsbruck. But you know, you can't be a racist. You can't throw bikes at people, and you can't try and crash people out on purpose or punch them and expect to keep your contract, can you? Like, if you're winning everything, fair enough, but he hasn't shown that much good potential. Best performance of Gianni Moscon, Vuelta 2017 when Froome. He was pulling so strong in the mountains. Oh yeah, Light Bicycle, they make some good stuff as well. Just a bit harder to buy sometimes because you've got to like email them. I don't know why they can't have all the price on them, but yeah, Light Bicycle pretty good. Or Yishin wheels. I think people recommend them as well. But I think most of the stuff, like if you're gonna get it from most companies, I mean, almost all of them make it in China. I think it's just like, if you spend 100 quid on carbon wheels, they are going to be terrible. If you spend like 400 quid on carbon wheels from China, they're probably going to be all right. And if you spend like 1,000, like the Windspace ones, they're like outrageous. I've never used oval chain rings. I don't know if I ever would. Main thing is power meter readings. I just don't know if they're very accurate. I get that the sense of them makes sense. But yeah, I haven't used them. Charity cycle ride. We could do that. We'll put that on the list of things to do when we get a little bit bigger, and we could actually organise something decent, because I reckon that would be actually quite good fun. You have to pay import taxes. Oh yeah, so I'm not 100% sure, because basically, so you pay import taxes, which is 20%, but apparently if it's over 130 quid, you don't pay it. I don't know if then you have to pay it when you get it in. It's a bit confusing, but all the things I've done, you just have to pay it when you buy from AliExpress, so it just whacks up the price by 20%. But because the pound has increased in value by 10%, it's not actually too much of a difference compared to the dollar. Is anyone on the level of Roglic and Pogacar? No, I don't think so. I think Yates is the only bloke. Simon and Adam are the only people who come like within 10 seconds of him on any climb. So maybe, and Gaudu, I guess, but like that was a bit more chaotic. I've never raced in Belgium. I've been to Belgium. I've ridden in Belgium, but never raced. I actually couldn't think of anything worse racing in Belgium. There's like cobbles, spring out corners. It'd just be terrible. Right, last minute of the old live stream also, and then we'll wrap it up. It's been pretty fun actually. We may make this more regular. It's quite fun. Do you get any revenue? Yeah, I make bank on YouTube. No, it's pretty good actually. So basically, when I started out, it was about £1 per 1,000 views, and now it's about £2 per 1,000 views. So, you know, you can look at my views on the internet. What's it called? Social Blade. You can look at my Social Blade and you can see how much views I get, and then extrapolate how much money I get. But it's like, you know, if every month I had the tour, I could almost do this full time, but every month's not the tour, so I can't. But basically, I just use all my YouTube money to spend on stupid bike parts, which is a pretty good way of doing it, to be honest, because I mean, it just means that you can try and pretend to justify that buying a disc wheel is good because it's going to make you 1 kilometre an hour faster. But because it comes from YouTube, it's all good and it doesn't matter. All right, that looks like the end of the questions. Cheers. Thanks a lot for joining this little live stream. Hope you have all enjoyed. We'll whack it up on the YouTube. And if you've got any more questions, then keep them for a later date, because we're probably going to have another live stream soon. Should have a Vingegaard video out tonight. Not tonight, tomorrow, or a day after that. And yeah, so anyway, cheers for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.